let's move on to the speaker. Our tonight's speaker is an enthusiastic Toastmaster. We joined Toastmaster at the same time. He was also my former class fellow, a former civil engineer, and now an MBA graduate. And this would be his last project of distinguished Toastmaster journey. Toastmaster Danish joined after 5 years. We gave a lot of projects, and now we came to the end. So without wasting further time, here's your speaker of tonight's meeting, Toastmaster Danish.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer, for such a detailed introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I would like to welcome you all to this workshop, this interactive workshop of the art of effective evaluation. So before starting with this workshop, I would like to take this opportunity to thank President and Vice President Education of Zenith Toastmasters Club for giving me this slot and giving me this slot in a typical virtual meeting of Zenith Toastmasters Club. So thank you with that. So this is my first ever virtual interactive workshop. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how to actually perform this workshop. So in order to make this workshop a success, I would be requesting each and every guest and each and every Toastmasters across the world to be as much energetic, as much engaged within this workshop that I don't have to speak anything and you just have to deliver and deliver and deliver. Since this workshop is interactive, I'll have different exercises, different sort of quizzes or different productive platforms where you can actually speak. So you have to be super concentrated and your concentration level should be at its peak so that you get most out of this particular workshop. Well, let's move on this workshop. So now the main question is why and what is the purpose of this workshop and why the art of effective evaluation? Well, in a typical Toastmasters meeting, we usually come here, we usually join this club or we usually join this particular platform to enhance our communication and leadership skills. So while enhancing our communication and leadership skills, we always compromise on the very fact that you need to move from this area to this area. And to reach from this area to this area, you have to have constructive feedback, you have to have evaluation on your speeches, on different speaking platforms that you may provide within the Toastmasters platform. So that is why we have this evaluation workshop. And also, this is my responsibility as I am a senior and I have completed Advanced Communication Silver and Advanced Communication Bronze. So this is my responsibility for a new club to actually help them enhance their evaluation skills. So that is why we are having this workshop, which is the art of effective evaluation. So without wasting any further time, let's move on with this workshop. So this is the agenda of a typical workshop that we're going to have. So being a workshop facilitator, I'll provide the introduction and then there will be different functions of evaluation. We'll have different exercises and quizzes within this criteria of agenda. Then we'll talk about the self-esteem. We'll talk about how clubs evaluate. And after that, we talk about what is the positive club climate has and what are the significant parts that contribute to develop a positive club climate. Then we're going to talk about the methods of effective evaluation and then how to evaluate effectively. And then the speakers has responsibilities. And then we'll have an interactive Robin Hood evaluation round in the end. So this is the agenda. Let's move on. So these are the rules and regulations that I made in this typical virtual workshop. The reason for making these rules and regulations is to make sure that each and everyone participate and we have top level engagement within this workshop. So let's go with the rules and regulation, starting with the first rule. Facilitator can ask anyone to comment on slides. So this is my responsibility to make sure that this whole workshop should be engaged. So I'll be asking comments and viewpoints from different guests, different Toastmasters across the globe, and they'll gonna comment on that. Audience will only have 30 seconds to present their viewpoint. So if, let's say, for example, there is a slide that I'm working on and I'm going through, so I'll ask distinguished Toastmaster Akil to provide his viewpoint, and he'll start speaking. So as soon as he starts speaking, our Toastmaster Hamad, who's the timer, he'll gonna time distinguished Toastmasters till 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, he'll ring a bell so that distinguished Toastmasters can complete his speech or his viewpoint. This is why I'm doing this. The reason is because in this virtual workshop, I need to make sure that the whole workshop should be completed within 2 hours and it should not be dragged down. So that is why I'm doing this. The third point is questions can be asked through chat box. So you don't need to ask questions by unmuting your mic. You just need to make sure that all the questions should be managed in the chat box. Mic should be on mute unless informed to unmute. Self-explanatory. Well, bell will ring after speaking round. So after every speaking round, whether an evaluator is evaluating or a speaker is speaking or anyone is providing their viewpoint, then there will be a bell that will ring, and after that bell, you have to complete your point. Also, there is a workbook link which chatbox coordinator and timer Toastmaster Hamad will share after every 20 minutes. So if any guest who joins in between the meeting or the Toastmasters who wants to have this workbook, because with the workbook, I can only make sure that with the workbook, all the exercises should be completed with all the Toastmasters and with all the guests across the globe. So workbook link is important and you have to go through the workbook, and I'll be referring to different pages while I'll be moving to different activities and exercises so that we have a smooth flow of workshop. So let's move on. Okay, so you see a typical meme on the slide. And this meme says that I am always open to feedback that I can defensive about and ultimately ignore. Now I would like to ask Toastmasters, what are their viewpoints? Starting from Toastmaster Muhammad Abbas. Toastmaster Muhammad Abbas, your viewpoint. 30 seconds for your viewpoint. Thank you.
I think feedback is very important for growth. Feedback can be positive, negative, and one should have the courage to listen patiently to the feedback. And it's best to get feedback from people who have experienced more than yourself, achieved more than yourself, worked more than yourself, been there longer than you have been there. So, and sometimes it can be very, very, very valuable, but in whether it is positive or negative, you should have the patience to listen and accept feedback gracefully. Over to you, Toastmaster Danish Amin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abbas, for your wonderful contribution. Toastmaster Kim Lan Kek, your viewpoints, please.
Feedback is not to defend ourselves. Feedback is for improvement. Sometimes we ourselves, we cannot see our weakness. So if people give you feedback, even though maybe it's not so nice to hear, but at least we know what are the areas that we can be improved. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. Now, Toastmaster Santosh, your viewpoint about this slide.
I think feedback is the breakfast for champions, and that is what you're doing. And asking feedback upfront means that you are not taking it as criticism, but you're welcoming that. It is a kind of skill. Great going. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Santosh. Indeed, feedback is the breakfast of champions. Wow, what a wonderful quotation. So let's move on with our workshop. Effective evaluation benefits everyone. It benefits the evaluator, it benefits the speaker, and it benefits the club. Now let's discuss how effective evaluation can benefit an evaluator. So let's say, for example, evaluator starts from the A and he wants to go through the B. Then there needs to be a behavior change from A to B. So in order to increase your own behavior, in order to change your own behavior, you need to move from A to B. And through effective evaluation, you can only achieve this. Hence, evaluator's role is basically one of the most important roles to actually not only help themselves to go from A to B, but also help speakers to go from A to B. So this is one of the most important benefits for the evaluator. As far as speaker is concerned, since we all know that speaker is here to increase their communication and leadership skills, they are here to not only get all the benefits of Toastmasters, but also develop a positive image of himself and develop their self-esteem and their self-confidence. So that's how effective evaluation benefits him, because it helps them to change their behavior. If as soon as evaluators provide constructive feedback on the speeches of the speaker, how it benefits the club? Well, it automatically, holistically develop an evaluation skills, effective evaluation skills within the club. If your members have effective evaluation skills, then there is a positive environment that is being created within your club, and people will be excited to come each and every week to attend a Toastmasters platform to increase their skills and to enhance their feedback. Now let's discuss about workshop objectives. So the first objective is to help us recognize the purpose and value of effective speech evaluation. For this objective, I would like to ask a comment. I would like to have a comment from Toastmasters Sumaya. Toastmasters Sumaya, your viewpoint on this objective.
Thank you, Toastmaster Danish. I believe that indeed this objective of effective evaluation to help us recognize the purpose and value of speech evaluation is very important, because an evaluator's role is very sensitive in the sense that he or she can break or make a speaker. So to know how to effectively give evaluation is paramount, so that we can ensure that when we are giving this evaluation, we are actually helping the evaluator and the speaker and the club, as you initially mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sumaya, for your viewpoint. Indeed, it is very important for the evaluator to provide a positive environment for the speaker, and it can only happen when you provide constructive feedback to your speakers. The second workshop objective is to discover ways we can improve our evaluation skills, both individually and as a club. So this particular objectives, we will come later on when we'll have all the workshop, and we'll see that how we have enhanced our evaluation skills. To stimulate group discussion on a subject of vital concerns to our club and each of us. So let's say, for example, we right now are going through a global crisis of COVID-19, and we all know that at this point in time, we are in lockdown situation. So in order to have a group discussion on that, in order to have a constructive viewpoint on that, so already we are in a lockdown environment, but still our minds are set free, and we are able to have this learning opportunities on different virtual platforms. We are connecting with Toastmasters, we are connecting with people across the globe, we are exchanging ideas. So this workshop, and specifically the part of the evaluation, is very much important while you're exchanging ideas. So look, evaluator's role is not only an evaluation role. His role can actually enhance to a mentor or a coach role. And it can only happen when when Toastmasters or the speakers are so much passionate to listen to evaluators as they are passionate to listen to other speakers. And hence, in order to enhance the overall group discussions, it's very important. So now we move to our first activity, and this activity is reasons for better speaking. So everyone should follow the workbook that is being provided by the chat box coordinator, and the chat box coordinator, please, you have to put forward the link again on the chat box So within the workbook, you have to refer the page number 5, and the exercise says that write down your own reasons for wanting to become a more effective speaker. Write down your own reasons for wanting to become a more effective speaker. So the time to perform this activity is 10 minutes. Timer, please go through follow the time, and our time starts now. You have 10 minutes to perform this activity. Thank you. Okay, so we have some people on board with us. As soon as this activity ends, our timer will gonna tell us this activity has completed. So we'll continue till then. I'll ask some guests about their introduction. Toastmaster Rafat Mubin, would you like to introduce us to the club?
Danish, can you please go back to the slide again? And just stick to that slide. I think it was
Changes, it's changing.
the activity. Yes, we are not seeing that slide. It was. Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I again inform everyone to go through this activity. The activity is exercise that you have to do, which is write down your own reasons for wanting to become a more effective speaker. The time for this activity is 10 minutes. You have to download the workbook from the chat box link and the page, and within this you have to refer to the page number 5. If anyone is done with their comments, then they can actually provide their comments, their feedback.
Yes, I've completed my 5 reasons. And I guess
Okay.
the reason, I think everyone should share just one reason so that we can have maximum people sharing. And my first reason is obviously I need to become a better leader. And for that, I need to be able to motivate my team, subordinates, followers, fans, whatever you want to call them. Because if I'm providing them a vision that they should follow, then they need to be able to buy into my ideas, buy into my vision. And in order to achieve that, I need to be able to speak in front of them, motivate them, inspire them, that so that they're able to then work harder, work their ass off to complete my mission as a leader. So that is the number one reason I have to become a better speaker, is to become a better leader. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you, Toastmaster Rafe, for your wonderful contribution. Anyone else who would like to comment?
Yeah, I would like to comment.
Yeah, Toastmaster Mohsin.
Yeah. So I know a family friend who's very good at storytelling. And every time at a party he's telling a story, he suddenly becomes a center of attention, right? Like he's so good at it. And now some people are naturally very good at it. But I think it's something that we can easily learn with a lot of practice. So that's one reason that I want to learn public speaking.
That's great. I mean, if you want to become a storyteller, then Toastmaster is the wonderful platform. I mean, if you see the world champions of public speaking, you see they are amazing storytellers, starting from Dhananjay Hitarachi and people before that, Darren Lecroix from 2001 world champion of public speaking. We always see storytellers to be at their game, and they are on top of their games.
Danish, I'd like to add.
Yeah, sure.
I think I'd like to negotiate my way through talks and with people on one-on-one. And I think to become an effective speaker or an effective negotiator, I'd like to be more creative, more imaginative, and bring more thoughtfulness in my talk.
Nice, nice. That's a very good point. I mean, if you want to become a good negotiator, if you want to have a very solid one-to-one conversations, then you have to have something, some sort of arms and ammunitions, tools and techniques with you, so that you can actually negotiate with people across the board. Whether it's a platform of Toastmasters, whether it's a platform of a corporate sector or something like that, you can actually have those arms and ammunitions, and you can actually come across with very good points while speaking. Anyone else?
Actually, I had to just.
I'm moving from Flex PPP Toastmaster Club. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, my reason is I would like to be able to present in front of customer more confidently. So very simple. So that whenever there's any proposal that I present to them, I can get through very easily. So it will save my time, save my jobs, and be more productive and more effective. That's all. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. I mean, if there is a new product launch and you are the spokesperson of that product, or if you are a salesman, or if you want to present a product and if you want to present an idea in front of the board of directors or CEOs or different audiences or a TED talk, then you just need to be confident. And in order to be confident, you just need to have a better speaking abilities.
You can ask Shazib for his comment as well.
Yes, Toastmaster Shazib, would you like to comment anything? Toastmaster Shazib?
Anybody else who can speak?
Anybody else?
Yes, Toastmaster Danish.
Toastmaster Danish.
Walaikum assalam.
I joined in late, but as far as I understand the workshop, that we need to write down the 5 reasons of becoming effective speaker, and need to share one of them.
Yeah.
My first and prime reason, I want to be a good listener.
Okay.
Because most of the people ignore that listening is the most critical and important aspect of communication. Great communicator understand what people listen or react after the listen. Because if you want to be a good communicator or provide a good communication, effective and authentication communication, because if you won't give your audience or your surroundings give respect that you are listening to them, you won't able to replicate that your thoughts when your turn comes. So as far as my concern is concerned, for here or Toastmaster, I want to become a good listener so that I can do good effective evaluation and do my turn when it comes. Because great communicator listen more than they speak.
Great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Farhan, for your viewpoint. And I do believe with the fact that listening plays a very huge role in evaluation. And if you listen more and if you listen very effectively, then you have a very good evaluation. So let's move on with our activity. I hope everyone can see my screen. Now we'll discuss why people want to learn to speak. So everyone provided, majority of us provided the viewpoints. So let's discuss some more viewpoints. The first viewpoint is to gain knowledge and skills, and it's self-explanatory. You want to learn more about anything. So let's say, for example, if you are an anchor in a news company, then you have to learn about the political news, the political arena, social arena, different economic situations, religious situations, so that you gain more knowledge and skills, and then you become an anchor, and then you perform on different news channels. Meet a specific need. So let's say, for example, you have a need. You wanted to increase your status, or you wanted to make sure that something needs to be done urgently. So let's say, for example, within in universities, you wanted to do some sort of an assignment of public speaking. So you want to actually go about that need and complete that. Gain material rewards, self-explanatory. So you have different promotions if you are able to speak effectively. You are having different sort of learning interventions in life through which you can actually increase the status, increase your own financial sort of an acumen, earn credit towards recognition. So just take my example. I'm doing this project to earn a credit, earn and recognition of Distinguished Toastmasters title. So this is a recognition that people used to have. And through this learning intervention of speaking, we can actually have that. Gain pleasure. So it's a very simple phenomena that if you are able to speak effectively in front of others, you develop a very good feeling within yourself. And it's actually related to the self-esteem. And self-esteem is basically the purpose, the overall health of yours, and the purpose to actually enhance the capabilities, and to actually have this whole feeling within yourself that you feel good about yourself while speaking in front of others. Build self-esteem, self-explanatory, build self-confidence. Again, it's the same vocabulary with different synonyms. Win acceptance and esteems from others. So one thing is self-esteem. You feel good about yourself. One thing is people feel good about you when you are present in front of them. This is something else. This takes your communication to a whole new level. How we improve as speakers. Now there is a chart that you are seeing on your presentation screen. So I would like to have a viewpoint. I would just like to have 1 minute to so that our Toastmasters, our guest, can understand this chart. And after that, I'll have viewpoint from different speakers across the globe. So just a minute so that you can understand this chart. And then after your viewpoints, I'll debrief on that. So anyone who would like to volunteer and provide his comments or viewpoints or feedback on this chart? Any volunteer?
Me.
Yes, please.
I
Yes,
think we should
Toastmaster
read
Kim.
more. I think we
Yes.
should read more books.
Okay.
And as a speaker, sometimes when we have a script, maybe we can get our mentor to review with our mentor, or get our friends to comment how to improve for this speech.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So Toastmaster Kim mentioned that we always have to have some sort of comments or feedback on every speeches that we have, whether it be a Toastmasters or any other learning intervention or any other speaking intervention that we used to have. Anyone else would like to comment? I guess distinguished Toastmaster Akil would like to comment anything.
Yes, actually, I want to add something. It shows that it's kind of a circle type. Like you speak, you take feedback, you improve, then you go on, and this process continues until you reach to the level you can give your own positions like this. As I mentioned earlier, I think in my belief, a good speaker, not every good speaker is a good evaluator, but every evaluator must be a good speaker. So that's the thing that I learned from this chart, that this circle which goes on, with the help of evaluation, you reach to the optimal level. And that's the difference between Toastmaster and other organizations. In other organizations, they only focus on speaking, while in Toastmaster, the third segment that we have called evaluation improves everything, and then we move on to the next meeting that will be next week, and then we go on.
Great, perfect. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Akil. So basically, this slide says that as soon as you have a speech, you will be evaluated by some evaluators, and that evaluation is a very constructive, a positive evaluation within a positive environment. So as soon as it hits you in the heart, you change your behavior. You take positive points from that evaluation, you incorporate into your next speech, and you change your behavior. And when you change your behavior, your whole speech changes. When your whole speech changes, then again you will be evaluated, and again some positive evaluator in a positive environment evaluates you with some positive points, some constructive points, and again you change your behavior. This way you reach to the optimum level of speaking that you have. So if I take example of the international convention that we used to have, so people go across different district contest, and then area contest, then district contest, and then they go to the world championship stage, the final stage. And from all these stages, there are some mentors or there are some coaches who actually coach them, train them, provide rigorous feedback, rigorous evaluation on their speeches so that they can improve. And then the responsibility of speakers is that they have the flexibility to actually incorporate those points in their speeches. So that is why this is the process of improvement, and that is why evaluators' role are very much important. So there are three roles of an evaluator. The first is motivator, the second is facilitator, and the third is counselor. So the motivator's role is to fuel to your improvement. So it basically evaluators or motivation evaluators provides you the fuel to actually improve. The facilitator, they actually provide you the methods of improvement. And the counselor, they actually removes fear or any discomfort that they may see within the speaker. So let's say, for example, we have different speakers on the international stages. They have a fear that they are not good in humorous speeches, or they are not good in some other speeches like persuading speeches or something like that, or entertaining speeches. So this is actually a fear or actually a discomfort that only a counselor, sort of an evaluator, who actually uses this counseling technique and actually remove that fear and that discomfort from the speaker. So I hope everyone understands this motivator, facilitator, and counselor role as an evaluator. So now we'll have another activity, the table topics activity. So this activity, let me help you with that. So we'll have three different topics, and I'll be choosing someone someone to say something on that topic for 1 minute, and after 1 minute there will be an evaluation by someone else that I'll be asking to, and I'll be helping them to actually provide their evaluation on the speech. So that evaluation will also be 1 minute. So let's start with that. So our very first, so just to let you know that whatever topic is, everyone needs to evaluate each and every topic. So let's say, for example, if I ask distinguished Toastmaster to provide his speech on this topic and provide 1 minute speech on this topic, then everyone has to evaluate that speech of distinguished Toastmaster. And I'll ask any one of you to actually evaluate distinguished Toastmaster on that speech for at least 1 minute. And then we're going to discuss whether this particular evaluation is a motivator sort of evaluation, facilitator sort of evaluation, or counselor sort of evaluation. So we're going to discuss this together. So let's start with this activity. Okay, so our very first topic is life is a tale of never-ending surprises. Life is a tale of never-ending surprises, and for this I would like to call Toastmaster Yap Suk Mi. Toastmaster Yap Suk Mi. And the topic is life is a tale of never-ending surprises. Toastmaster Yap Suk Mi, you have 1 minute to speak on this. Thank you.
Life is a tale of never-ending surprises. I fully agree with this statement. Why? Like what happened right now, COVID-19. Is it a surprise to all of us? Yes. None of us expected that this will happen in this year, 2020. However, it's a test to the human that how we adapt to the change in order for us to survive and in order for us to continue to stay strong. For those who have positive mindset, they will never think that, well, I'm still able to do a lot of good stuff, even at this most challenging time. However, for those with negative thought or mindset, they will not able to accept the surprises because they will think that, what can I do? What will happen to me next? I will not have enough money and so on. The rest of my life will be very bad. So it's really true that life is always with the never-ending surprises, and it's very up to us that how we overcome all this as part of our journey. Whether we take it positively. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Yap Suk Mi, for such a lovely table topic session from your side. Now I would like to ask Toastmaster Bushra to provide her evaluation on this speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Danish. Her speech was good, very well point, concise, and very informative with the current situation which is going on around the world and everyone is facing, because it was unpredictable in 2019 and within 2 or 3 months we are seeing that what is happening all around the world, everyone is suffering. And she also tell us about the aspects, about the positive and negative aspects, about that our thoughts also impact our thoughts also impact our health. So she also mentioned that I think it's a very good speech. That's and it is I think it's yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bushla, for your evaluation. Now I would like to ask Toastmaster Santosh. What do you think? What is your viewpoint? Whether this evaluation is a motivator sort of evaluation, facilitator sort of evaluation, or counselor sort of evaluation?
I think she has been very much concerned about the speaker, and she has also given the improvements on how the speaker could have improved. So it is definitely a motivator and a facilitator. However, it is not a kind of counselor sort of an evaluation, because it is not telling us how to do it, but it is only saying what, why, and when.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Santosh. Yes, I do agree with the fact that this evaluation was a motivator and facilitator sort of evaluation, because the evaluator is not actually involving any fear or discomfort from the speaker. So that is why it's not the counselor part. So let's move on with our second topic. Our second topic is you can win anything by having self-confidence. You can win anything by having confidence. And for this, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Doshila. Toastmaster Doshila, you can win anything by having self-confidence. Your time starts now.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akil. So you can win anything if you have self-confidence. I agree with this statement. Self-confidence is an element that is very important if you want to really win any battle in your life. Now, I'll just share with you two examples where in one case I didn't have enough self-confidence to win the situation. And in another case where I actually had self-confidence, which allowed me to win a battle. So the first situation is 2019 when I participated in a national conference in Mauritius, Toastmasters National Conference, where despite the fact that I practiced and I rehearsed my speech, somehow I was a bit nervous on stage, lacked a bit of self-confidence, and I was perceived as being stiff on the stage, and I was not among the winners. So when I analyzed that situation, I realized that it was actually a lack of self-confidence, which didn't push me ahead in my pursuit for becoming a potential winner for that conference. Now, second situation is again in 2019, where I was not given a promotion at the workplace in a very unfair way. And I was so much affected by that decision. I decided to engage in a judicial review. And lots of friends around me say that you can't fight against the system, but I maintain my view. I said, I fight against the system because this is unfair, whatever has been done for me, not getting that promotion, that was a very unfair decision. And I'm going to fight the system. And I actually fought the system with much confidence, and I ultimately got my promotion. So just to share with you that I agree with this statement, that if you have self-confidence, you really believe in yourself, in your perspective of viewing things, you ultimately win any battle in life. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Doshila, for such a wonderful speech. So for Toastmaster Doshila, I would like to request Toastmaster Urusa to evaluate her. Toastmaster Urusa, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Toastmaster Danish. I would like to confirm something from Toastmaster Hamad. Was he ringing a bell?
Yeah, so basically, after 1 minute, he has to ring the bell so that the speaker should wrap up the speech. So one or twice.
Okay. Toastmaster Doshila, she started her speech wonderfully. There was a proper opening, and there were two instances which were beautifully captured. The contrast was awesome between a positive and a negative. She talked about self-confidence. In one case, it was beautiful. In the other, which was where she did not show confidence, awesomely captured. However, if she would have not elaborated in a very long manner, maybe that could have been concised in 1 minute, and basically she would not have disqualified. If this would have been a contest or something, she would have probably disqualified. So that's about it, Toastmaster Danish.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rusa, for such a wonderful evaluation. Now I would like to ask Toastmaster Eunice to please provide us your viewpoint whether this evaluation is a motivator, facilitator, or counselor sort of evaluation. Toastmaster Eunice.
Motivator and facilitator.
Okay. Any viewpoint would you like to comment?
Please, everyone, please share your video when you're speaking especially since we are evaluating. So we want to see facial expressions, eye contact, that kind of thing. When the video is not there, then there is very limited. It's just the voice we can evaluate basically.
Yeah, please use your video chat whenever you are speaking. Toastmaster Eunice, would you like to provide any viewpoint?
Because
If,
just now she mentioned what is the area she can improve for the point of view from the story shared by her. So it belongs to the motivator and facilitator area.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Eunice. Well, I do agree with the fact that this was also motivator as well as facilitator sort of evaluation. So let's move on with our third topic. Our third topic is always have a winning mentality. Always have a winning mentality. And for this, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Mahmood Aslam. Toastmaster Mahmood Aslam, you have 1 minute to speak.
Hello. Can you just repeat the question again?
Share your video, please, Mahmood. Share your video as well.
Okay, I'm just sharing my video also. Of course, not in a very good attire. So
no problem at all. So the topic is always have a winning mentality.
Okay, always have a winning mentality.
Yes, you have 1 minute.
It's very important to have a positive frame of mind, because if you have a positive frame of mind, and you must have heard about mind sciences, and if you have got a will to conquer anything, so certainly if you feel that you can do it with a can-do attitude, you're gonna have it get done. So that is very important. And if you have not a positive frame of mind, so if you go into anything half-heartedly, so you will not be able to do it, successfully. So you need to have a positive frame of mind to conquer, to, achieve your goals, whatever you have in your mind. So you need to be wholeheartedly, and you will be able to do it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mahmood, for your speech. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Mon Peng Jong. Toastmaster Mon Peng Chong for the evaluation. You have 1 minute.
Thank you to the speaker.
Please share your video as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the speech. I would say that the evaluations spell out the point very clearly. We need to have a will to conquer and need to have can-do attitudes and positive mind to do whatever thing in order to win. And this is very important. Perhaps in order to enhance the speech, the speaker might consider to tell us some example of himself or some example of the people surrounding him that he witnessed that someone really have a winning mentality to strive, and at the end, they really win something. In fact, I have an example I would like to give over here. For example, my colleagues and also my Toastmaster members, we are in the same class. When I know her about 3 months ago, in fact, she just joined.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mon Peng Chong, for your evaluation. Now I would like to call Toastmaster Adrian to provide his viewpoint on whether this evaluation is motivator, facilitator, or counselor sort of evaluation. Toastmaster Adrian, stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I wasn't really quite listening because there was a issue with the internet and audio, unfortunately. But it sounded, it kind of sounded like there was some she wanted to improve the speaker. So I think she wanted to be a facilitator, but I wasn't quite sure. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adrian, for your comment. So, yes. Now, on your screen, and this quotation says that the problem with a lot of people is that if they get rejected by a job they want or a person they like, their self-confidence becomes shattered in an instant because they don't have an abundance mindset. You see, when you have an abundance mindset and you get rejected, it's okay, because you tell yourself tomorrow I'll find 10 other jobs or I'll meet 10 other new people. You always have possibilities. And it is quoted by none other than Idris Elba, who is one of the potential Hollywood stars as of now. And we also came to know that it was I guess the news that he was actually doing the next James Bond movie as well. So let's discuss on this. So the vocabulary here is abundance mindset. Anyone who would like to comment on this quotation? Toastmaster Aga Faisal, would you like to comment on this quotation? You have 30 seconds. Yes, Toastmaster Aga Faisal.
Aga Faisal, go ahead.
He's reading actually.
Yeah, I'm here. You?
Yes, Toastmaster Aga Faisal, would you like to provide your comment on this?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmasters Danish. I think he has highlighted the mindset of the people who has rejected by their jobs, and because of their different skills or their behavior work towards the work.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Toastmaster Rafe, would you like to comment?
Yes, I have read through the entire paragraph, and what I was wondering is that this quotation or these words basically highlight that there are certain kinds of people who have a shallow confidence or weak self-confidence, which gets quickly shattered in case they face some challenge, like in a relationship or in the career, or maybe even at a Toastmasters. And so, on the other hand, there are other people who have an abundance mindset, which allows them to see that as a challenge, which maybe that situation did not work out for themselves, but in future they foresee other opportunities that are coming their way. And so instead of focusing on what went wrong earlier, their focus is then on what's coming next and to make the most of the opportunities, relationships, career goals that is coming in the future. So I guess that is the contrast that he's trying to convey.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rafe. Well, majority of us, we see that in our daily life, there are very few people who have this sort of capability of having this abundance mindset. And how we can actually relate to Toastmasters and specifically effective evaluation. Well, in order to have an abundance mindset, so let's say, for example, if you're providing an effective evaluation to a speaker, if that particular speaker doesn't have an abundance mindset, and if you are providing them a constructive feedback and it takes it as a disaster for himself, then because of not having this abundance mindset, this will actually help. This will not help him actually, and he will not continue Toastmasters. And if they have the abundance mindset, then actually this will help him. But let's say, for example, if a speaker doesn't have an abundance mindset, then it is evaluator's responsibility to actually evaluate that particular speaker as a counselor and not as a sort of a facilitator. So there should be a mixture of motivator as well as counselor. So he has to create a positive environment in front of that speaker, because that speaker has some sort of fear. If because of that fear he's not able to develop that abundance mindset. So you have to make sure that you should put on your shoes of counselor as well as motivator, so that that particular person should have a proper feedback and he actually work on that feedback and continue his speeches. Let's move on. Now this is a second activity, and this activity is basically evaluation climate assessment. So the exercise is rate 5 top
Danish, we have a
factors.
question. Danish, we have a question in chat
Yes,
box.
yes.
Please put the chat box.
Okay, my chat box is not opening right now. Yes. Question: how can we know our speaker has the abundance mindset or not? Okay, this is a very good question. Well, first of all, whenever you see a new Toastmasters in a Toastmasters club, so I'm just talking about in perspective of Toastmasters, right? Whenever you see a new Toastmasters in a Toastmasters club, and whenever you call him as a guest to speak in front of public, and he actually tells you that he's not comfortable to come in front of the audience, or he has some sort of fear, then he doesn't have this abundance mindset, right? So he has some sort of fear that he is basically here to get a positive environment, so that a positive environment should be provided at that particular point, so that he actually have this positive environment so that he can actually speak. So if he has some sort of fear, then you won't be able to get an abundance mindset from himself, and you need to put on the shoes of counselor as well as motivator to actually help him develop that courage to speak in front of others, right? So let's move on. So we have this second activity, and this activity says that rate 5 top factors that contribute to the club evaluation climate. You can refer to the workbook, and the workbook, specifically the page 9 of the workbook, in which all the factors are present. You have to rate the top 5 factor, and you have 10 minutes for the exercise. Toastmaster Hamad, please share the link on the chat box screen again, so that the new members can get these workbook and they can refer to the page 9. And after 10 minutes, we'll have comment session on this. If anyone completed this exercise, then they can share their viewpoints on this exercise, and they can actually tell us their top 5 factors where you can actually have a positive evaluation climate for your own club. And what are the factors that are involved to have a positive evaluation climate generally? Anyone who would like to provide their viewpoint?
Yes.
Yes, please. Yes, Toastmaster Kim.
Yes. In our club, we normally we will depends. If this is just a newly joined member, we will motivate the purpose of motivate evaluation is to motivate this speaker to be a success speaker in future. So we will try to emphasize their strengths. Of course, we will give area for improvement at the end before the evaluation speech. But for the advanced speech speaker, so we will require higher level because as they already have the basic like last time our old manual is a competent communication manual. They have learned before, so now we will require they have more points, more improvement than the CC manual. So normally we will first mention about their strengths, about at least three strength point, their point. So area for improvement at least will provide 2. Because without area of improvement and specific on which area, example, if we say you have very effective hand gesture, which sentence and with what type of hand gestures or what type of you very good eye contact. So we will specific point out which point is at which point is a very good eye contact. So we will tell the evaluatee like this so that they can improve from your evaluations. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kim, for your viewpoint. Anyone else who would like to comment?
Can I Toastmaster Danish?
Yes,
Yeah,
you can.
Yes.
Please, Danish, there's a request. Please get some feedback from Zenit Toastmasters Club members as well, because I'm interested in
sure. Obviously.
Hamad, newcomers, Hamad or Mohsin. Mohsin is a member of other club as well. So I want to see a contract. Okay.
Sure.
So go ahead, Doshila.
Yes, Toastmaster Doshila.
Thank you. Just a comment on those factors. According to my rating, I've actually come up with responsibility and benefits as being 2 top factors. Why? Because I think the first and foremost responsibility of a club is to empower its speakers. And that's why I think responsibility and benefits, to emphasize on these 2 factors, is of paramount importance. And then third factor is method. At the level of my club, most of the time, evaluators actually point out what was done well, what was not done so effectively, but they do not stress on the how. So if you don't stress on the how, I believe that the speaker actually is unable to work on those weaknesses effectively. So that is also very important, stressing really clearly with examples on the how, pointing out what could have been improved, and the how is very, very important, I believe. So these are comments that I would like to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Doshila. And I do agree with the fact that majority of evaluators, they provide very positive feedback to the newcomers, to the guests, to the Toastmasters who are prepared speakers. However, they don't emphasize on the fact that there are very strong improvement points where Toastmasters needs to be improved. And I personally feel that improvement points should be highlighted and should be emphasized as much as possible, because without improvement points, we will never be able to increase the level, the skills that a speaker has, and it is very important. So I just wanted to ask Toastmaster Mohsin, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I think the top factor that contributes to club evaluation climate is, as from a personal experience, I can say that when I join a club, I'm very nervous, right? I'm very scared to take a responsibility and stand up in front of people. So at that step, I think it would be better if the senior members can really push the new members, like put the role on them, and because we are learning from them, right? So I think that's how the climate is decided of club evaluation.
Great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohsin. And I do agree that there should be more learning interventions with people with people who are new, and they should be given more roles and responsibilities and opportunities within the club so that they can perform and enhance their skills more. Toastmaster Abbas, would you like to comment anything?
Yes, I think as a new member, one of the observations that I've had in our several meetings of Toastmasters Club, which I think we can also improve, is that a lot of the time what happens is when we are trying to be polite, we are light on the criticism and light on the improvement points and heavy on the appreciation. I mean, that is very good in real life. We should always appreciate people who we are working with. But on this platform, we are here to learn. And normally, we have these ingrained habits when we are speaking, and the only way to really solve or fix these negative habits while speaking is if they are repeatedly pointed out and we as members improve on these areas. And so honest feedback and honest criticism, I think, is extremely essential for a good club evaluation climate. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abbas. And yes, honest feedback is really, really important. Let's move on from this activity to our next. So there are some points that we want to make sure that should be incorporated in our evaluations, and it can actually help develop self-esteem within speakers. So we all know that self-esteem fuels personal growth. Self-esteem is something that how you feel about yourself, and it actually helps you to do some challenges stuff in your real life. So it actually fuels your personal growth. Feedback reinforces personal growth. So let's say, for example, you are endorsing some sort of a challenge, and after that challenge, there's a feedback in real life. You've been provided with a feedback. So somewhat there are constructive feedback as well as some is critical feedback. So through constructive feedback, you reinforces the personal growth, and then personal growth nourishes self-esteem. So it's basically a circle where feedback actually reinforces personal growth and personal growth nourishes self-esteem. Let's move on. Okay, the last point is more self-esteem generates more growth. Now, how to nourish self-esteem when you evaluate? So we know that there are few members within this workshop, few participants, they are saying that it's very good to have you need to create a positive environment, and after that you need to have a constructive feedback on that. Majority other Toastmasters are saying that you need to have an honest critical feedback on that. Obviously we need to incorporate appreciation, but there should be a sandwich approach. I believe there should be a mixture of both. However, in the end, as an evaluator, it's your responsibility to how you increase the self-esteem of your speakers. So there are a few points. Be genuine, self-explanatory. As we said, that you need to be you need to give more honest feedback, recognize strengths, recognize improvements, create a climate for motivation, avoid value judgments, provide positive direction. Okay, so now the survey that we did for our own clubs, for our own selves, for the evaluation, I would like to come again on that particular activity. And now I would like to ask each and every one of you, the top 5 ratings that you gave to within the assessment, would you like to change any top 5 ratings? Anyone would like to comment on this? Toastmaster Farooq, would you like to comment?
Well, you can ask everybody just to speak at the same, like about the emphasis. Then you can ask everybody about the rating, the 1 to 5.
Toastmaster Farooq? Okay, he's not available at the moment.
Okay, let me give my feedback on this questionnaire based on my observations about Zenith Toastmasters Club. For emphasis, I think we highly emphasize evaluations. I've always had done so. So I think it's 5. Standards, I think, okay, I'll give it a 4. Responsibility, yes, I think we have very responsible evaluators who actually want the speakers to succeed, to improve, and they personally are invested in the betterment of the speakers. So I think I would say 5. The benefits, I think again 4. Conformity. Now that is again, I actually think it means basically that all the evaluators are for sort of following a particular pattern. I think that's not a good thing, but I do feel that sometimes it seems so that some evaluators follow this common pattern. I think we need to break that habit. So I would give it a 4. Although we have different styles, there is variety, but I still feel there is a lot of conformity that we could get rid of. Similarly, method, the score that I gave for method is 4. I think there's a little bit of improvement consideration. And over here, it is about the individual consideration for each speaker, their personal goals. I think that is something we need to work on. We need to discuss, the speaker needs to discuss with the evaluator in advance what their goals are with respect to this project, what considerations they want the evaluator to pay attention to. Maybe they're experimenting with something like in this speech, I'm going to use my hands more. I'm going to use the stage more. I'm going to try some humor. So please pay attention to that and comment on that. So we need to, I guess, improve that. So I think I have given that 3 score for consideration. And for process, do evaluators prepare in advance? I don't think so. Some evaluators do, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So I think I've given it a 3. As far as speaker preparedness goes, I think we are good at that. I think speakers come in prepared, and most of the time you can see that preparation. The speeches are well rehearsed. They're speaking. It looks like they are prepared. So I think I've given it a 5. And the speaker acceptance, similarly, are speakers accepting the evaluations? I think most of the time I do see people accepting it. Sometimes there are disagreements, but that doesn't I guess overwhelm the majority of the times that we see the speakers accepting and implementing the feedback that was given to them, some direct feedback, some specific feedback. I can see that speakers actually incorporate that in their speeches when they give their upcoming projects. So I've given that a score of 5 as well. So that is for Zenith Toastmasters Club.
Well, Toastmaster Danish, actually, I want to comment on Toastmaster Abdul Rafi. The scale is 1 to 5. 1 is the strongest. 5 is the weakest. So I think Toastmaster Danish, Abdul Rafi actually
no issue. He was actually mentioning that I give the strongest point and this is the weakest link.
Yeah, 5.
Not a big
Yeah,
deal.
5. He mentioned 5 is the strongest, but actually in the
it's
the
1
evaluation page that I have, it's 1 is the strongest.
Perfect. So let's move on. Toastmaster Mohammed, would you like to comment? You raised your hand.
I think he's already commented.
Hello, Toastmaster Abbas. Would you like to comment anything?
Hello.
I think he's not available as of now. Okay, Toastmaster Farooq, would you like to comment on this? What about Express Toastmasters Club? How you evaluate your club on these parameters?
Okay, that's a very difficult thing to evaluate our own club. So if we talk about how much emphasis we go to put on, yes, we believe that evaluation are the most essential thing whenever a speaker is speaking. So I would give it 1 because we always emphasize on. And standards, as far as the standards is concerned, I would say that sometimes it is 2, 3, and 1. It depends on the evaluator who is evaluating. So standards vary according to his or her level of evaluating the club, evaluating the speeches. Responsibility, the person who is evaluating is very much responsible, because if he is giving a very harsh kind of evaluation to anybody, Toastmasters is like an incubator. You nurture people over there. So I think it is very much important and we take it very seriously. So I would go with 1. Benefits also 1. There is no doubt about it. Conformity. Okay.
Conformity.
I'm a bit confused about it because my mobile is very much powerful. Let me just get close to it. Conformity. Okay, so I would go with 2. Yeah, I would go with 2. And the method of evaluation, like I would say the responsibility and the standards, I would again going to comment on the method of evaluation. That whenever a speaker is who is evaluating a speaker, if he is seasoned and experienced, the method of his or her evaluation improves. So I would say it depends on the person who is evaluating. And then the consideration, yes, I would say that it is 2. And the process of evaluation, again, it will be the 2. And the speaker preparedness, and yep, it is 2. And the speaker acceptance, I would say it is 1, because whenever we evaluate someone, he or she openly accepts the evaluator's point of view, and if he thinks that he or she can incorporate it in her or his future speeches, he do so. So that is all from my side.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Farooq, for your evaluation on your own club. Well, I personally believe that this form should be re-emphasized every quarter within the club, and this form is very much important to actually change the behavior of whole club. So let's say, for example, if any speaker is not confident enough to speak in front of the Toastmasters, then this form will actually tells you that how many speakers are there within your club who are actually in a conformed state and who are not actually getting out of their comfort zone and taking initiatives and taking speeches and roles and responsibilities. So I personally believe that evaluation for the club, whole club, can actually benefits you through this assessment. And in every quarter, if you do this assessment, then definitely you will get some important points within your club where you want to actually emphasize and you want to work with your club on that, with your club officers, obviously. So let's move on with that. I'll take questions in the end because there are 2 to 3 questions. However, I have a very limited time, so I'll just move on with the presentation. So how to build a positive club climate for evaluation? Well, you need to emphasize quality evaluation. So as I said before, quality evaluation comes when you incorporate the honest feedback, as said, as mentioned by Toastmaster Mohammad Abbas, and through that you actually create a positive environment for the speaker, and that's how quality improves through your evaluation. And the more, so let's say, for example, there are a few people who did coaching, who did mentoring within their clubs for a few new members or for a few new guests who changed to members. So they are working on their individual capabilities and they are increasing their capabilities. And after increasing their capabilities, they are continuously giving them feedback and feedback. That's some sort of a quality evaluation. But as we know that in Toastmasters Club, we are the communicators as well as we are the evaluators. So evaluators change. So let's say, for example, I'm giving speech as of now, then evaluator is Toastmaster Rafe. Next week, it will be Toastmaster Akil. So you need, as a speaker, I need to make sure that I'll be open to a constructive feedback. And as an evaluator needs to make sure that in a positive environment, I create a positive image of himself so that his self-esteem can increase. And on the second, and with the second approach, I have to give an honest feedback. So this is how it works. Helps member become better acquaintance. So this is a self-explanatory. Assigning evaluators when assigning speakers. Yes. So you need to prepare for evaluation as well. So obviously we prepare for our speeches, but for evaluation, we need to prepare a lot. So majority of us, we think that when a speech starts, for 5 to 7 minutes, a prepared speech we are evaluating. When a speech starts, we'll just write down good points, some improvement points, some points that needs to be focused on more, and that's it. That's evaluation. Well, that's not the evaluation. Evaluation is something that you need to understand the psyche of that particular speaker. You need to understand whether that particular speaker has some fear, has some discomfort within himself, and what role should I be in order to provide him a positive environment, whether I should be a facilitator, motivator, or counselor that we did previously. So we need to assign those evaluators that can actually change the behavior of speakers. Encourage dialogue between speakers and evaluators. So what when I was actually going through this workshop and understanding and reading all the materials of this workshop, I came across a very interesting fact. Evaluation, when we think of evaluation, it's very one-sided. However, Toastmasters gives us the opportunity to make this an interactive evaluation. So let's say, for example, if you are evaluating a speaker as of now, but there are some viewpoints that that particular speaker is not going through or it's not understanding, then they can actually ask you questions and you can actually elaborate on your viewpoint. So it can actually encourage dialogue between speakers and evaluators. Evaluate the evaluator. So other thing, so there should be a contest within your club where you all there should be one prepared speaker, and that prepared speaker is being evaluated by so many evaluators, and after that there are evaluators who are evaluating those evaluators, those prepared speak evaluators. So that's how there is a positive club climate for evaluation, and there is an acceptance of a very constructive feedback and evaluation, whether it's an honest feedback or whether it's a very bloated feedback with the positive comments. Encourage group evaluation. So there should be a group evaluation. So let's say, for example, one speaker is speaking. So 4 to 5 evaluators can evaluate at time on different aspects. So one is evaluating on vocal variety, one is evaluating on body language, one is evaluating on the content of speech. So that's how you can do group evaluation. Emphasize on manual speeches. There should be more manual speeches. Now there are 3 methods of evaluation: tell and sell, tell and listen, and problem solving. So the first method, tell and sell, we usually do in our clubs. We just tell, and they just buy it and we just sell it, right? Very simple. It's very simple, straightforward and self-explanatory. The second method that I was telling you about in my previous slide is tell and listen. So as an evaluator, you are telling them about good points, and as a speaker, they are telling you that I'm working on this and I'm not working on this. I want to improve this, I want to not improve this, and I want to be on this path. So let's say, for example, there is a humorous speech and you are speaking, the speaker is speaking a humorous speech. You want him to accommodate some anecdotes, but he doesn't want to accommodate any anecdote. He just want to give a speech in which there should be a very a splitty humor within that speech. So that's how you can actually encourage dialogue between evaluators and speakers. So this is tell and listen. The third part is problem solving. So problem solving comes in counselor part. So counselor has the responsibility to check the speaker holistically, and after checking that speaker, come up with some weak areas, and there should be a one-on-one coaching session or one-on-one counseling session with that speaker, and telling them that I personally see this weak area and I want you to improve. First of all, I want to have an acceptance from your side that you consider this weak area or not. So let's say, for example, I am a speaker and Toastmaster Rafe told me that you have a weak area, that you cannot speak fluently. So you need to speak fluently, right? Now I don't consider this my weak area. So I'll tell Toastmaster Rafe that I personally feel that this is not my area. So Toastmaster Rafe can actually either emphasize on this or actually put this particular parameter on redundancy. So this is Toastmasters Rafe's responsibility, that whether he wants to do it or not, or whether he wants to come up with some other weak area or would like to improve that or not. So this is part of the problem solving. And here one-on-one coaching and one-on-one counseling kicks in. So this is 10 behaviors of effective evaluation. The first is, as we all know, that sandwich approach, in which you have to show that you care. The second is suit your evaluation to the speaker. Suit your evaluation to the speaker. So let's say, for example, there is some discomfort within the speaker. So you need to evaluate in a very positive environment, a positive atmosphere, so that he should be encouraged and he should not feel that it hurts his self-esteem. The third point is learn the speaker's objectives. You need to understand what is speaker's objectives. So in traditional Toastmasters program, in every project, there are objectives. In a Pathways program, we do have objectives, but it's sort of in paragraph. It's not that clear. However, we need to understand the project, and then according to the project, according to the objectives, we need to evaluate. Listen actively. Listening is one of the most important factors in evaluation. The more you listen, the more you visualize, the more you listen, the more you visualize, and the more you visualize, the more you provide honest feedback on that. Personalize your language. So you need to use a personalized approach to your methods. Give positive reinforcement, build a motivational climate, self-explanatory, evaluate behavior, not people, nourish self-esteem, show the speaker how to improve. Now, how to personalize your language for evaluation. Say it like this. My reaction was, it appeared to me. I felt that. You see. Now, I would like to have comment on these good languages in evaluation from Toastmasters. Are you incorporating in your club these languages while you're evaluating other members, other speakers? I would like to call Toastmaster who's not spoken, I guess, Toastmaster Fayya Akhtar. Toastmaster Fayya Akhtar. Are you using this positive reinforcement in your club while evaluating? Toastmaster Fayya, are you there? Okay, let's move on. Toastmaster Farhan. Toastmaster Farhan, would you like to comment on this? Are you using this positive reinforcement? Toastmaster Farhan, are you there?
Yes, Toastmaster Danish.
Yes. So Toastmaster Farhan, would you like to comment on this? Are you using this positive reinforcement while evaluating your speakers in your club?
Yeah, I personally look forward all the positive aspect whenever I had the opportunity to evaluate anyone, and being in the XCOM will look very serious on that matter, on evaluating the prepared speeches, because evaluation is a very critical and important aspect of Toastmaster learning, because when you get to the club, and it is the last thing which you get to learn to evaluate. It's a process to throw different role player after playing different sort of roles and your main roles. Then you put to evaluate someone, and it comes with a certain responsibility, because we collectively have to understand one thing, that whenever you evaluate someone, do not evaluate that person, just evaluate that speech, because at times I personally feel people just stuck there. They are evaluating someone senior, or they are evaluating someone junior, so the quality or the emphasis can go here and there. So if you stick to the basic, that who you are evaluating, and you be a good listener to that, note down all the point, and you just have to follow that method of evaluating. Start with that as a famous sandwiches method. So you come with a very good and praising points, and there is a kind of suggestions and recommendation, and you end up with a praising again. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Farhan, for your comment on the positive reinforcement of your languages while evaluation. Now let's talk about what you should not use, the negative reinforcement, which we usually use in our clubs for the evaluation. You should have, you failed to, your opening was. So these are some negative reinforcement that you don't want to do. I mean, this is directly targeting the speaker, that the speaker has failed completely in every objective of his project. I mean, if you say that, Toastmaster Abbas, you prepared your speech, you should have prepared your speech like this way, but not this way. So this is a negative approach, and this should not be there. Other personalized languages say it like this: I suggest, I think your next speech will be like this and this and this. A technique I have found helpful is, so it's like you come across with your own technique and try to tell the speaker that this technique is one of the wonderful techniques and you should try this. I mean, it's not bad to try any other technique from other speakers. I mean, this is a very good way to say, and it's a very good way to say on yourself and then implementing on others. I mean, it's a very, very confident way to say. Not like this, you should, you must, good speakers do this and good speakers do that, and these are the bad speakers thing and all and all. This is not the way to say. The speakers has responsibilities to communicate your goals, help the evaluators prepare. So speakers want to provide their objectives, their manual, so that the evaluator should prepare before his evaluation, and that's how the speakers will improve. I mean, if speakers took the responsibility to increase his confidence or increase his valuable skills, then it's speaker's responsibility to help evaluators prepare, so that the more evaluator is prepared, the more positive reinforcement and the improvement points will be there, so that they can actually incorporate in their next speeches. Prepare diligently, emphasize with the evaluator, help the evaluator improve, and prepare to change. Now we are moving on to our final workshop, or sorry, final activity. And this is a very wonderful activity in which we'll have a prepared speaker. We have a prepared speaker from other club, which is the Express Toastmasters Club. The president of Express Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Farooq, will gonna present his speech for 5 to 7 minutes. And after prepared speech, there will be Robin Hood round evaluations. So what does Robin Hood round evaluation mean? So for 1 minute, each and every one here present in this workshop will be evaluating Toastmaster Farooq's prepared speech. And after everyone giving his evaluation, there would be evaluator's evaluation, in which I'll call upon one person and he'll be evaluating all the evaluations in journal, right? So let's start with our prepared speech for Toastmaster Farooq. So Toastmaster Farooq, are you ready? Okay, so let me call upon his... Perfect, thanks. Let me call upon his project. His project is from Competent Communication Manual, which is traditional Toastmasters program. And the project is Persuade with Power. Project 9, Persuade with Power. The objectives of prepared speech is: persuade listeners to adopt your viewpoint or ideas, or to take some action. The second objective is apply to the audience mindset, to the audience interest. The third objective is use logic and emotions to support your position. And the fourth objective is avoid using notes. The time of this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. And after 5 to 7 minutes speech, there will be Robin Hood round evaluation. So I suggest each and every Toastmasters present here to start evaluating the prepared speech of Toastmaster Farooq. Toastmaster Farooq, your time starts now.
Thank you, Toastmaster Danish. Fellow Toastmasters. What time is it? It is a very difficult question for each and every child who don't know how to use an analog clock or watch to tell time. I was also the same kind of person when I was a young kid. Whenever someone was used to ask me what time is it, looking to the wall clock, oh my God, what should I tell them? That I don't know how to check time from the wall clock. So I found a very smart way to respond to that question. And that is, whenever someone asked me, what time is it? I respond them, it is same as yesterday. Fellow Toastmasters and wonderful guests. When we begin to learn new things, the questions which we were having the difficult one changes, like the question of what time is it changes to how the things are going, means how the time is going. And that is a very difficult question for all the grown-ups. When someone asks us that how the time is going, we usually say them, it is fine, it is going superb. And do you know why? Because we don't know how the time is going around us. Because we never pay attention that what is happening with ourselves. There are beautiful times and there are beautiful moments in our life. Let me share you a time's story. Once I was going to my institute in an evening class. I was taking a pedestrian crossing when someone came to me and put the plug out of my ear and asked me, "What time is it?" Scaringly, I looked towards that man and asked, "Are you here to snatch my mobile?" He said, "No, no, no. I'm a policeman. I'm just asking you the time." So without taking out my mobile, I replied him that it is 20 past 8 and I walked away. That was a scary time, but that was a moment. And remembering that moment now gives me an enjoyment because I knew that the person who was coming after me was actually trying to snatch my mobile. But taking use of time positively and effectively using my mind, I avoid that. And now that moment is giving me enjoyment. Toastmasters, every second is very much important in our life. Do you know why? So many things happen in a single minute. Do you know what happens in a single minute? Every 3 seconds, a child dies due to hunger. Every 5 seconds, person dies due to an accident. Every 39 seconds, a person commits suicide. And every 61 seconds, someone is being murdered. This is what happens in a single minute. Are we using our time wisely? Time is an asset. We are not putting effective use to it. And because we are not realizing that whatever moment we have, whatever time we have, can create beautiful moment for us. But this can only happen if we will be using our time effectively. And by effectively, I mean that we should know where we are spending our time. To do it, there is a simple technique. Make a timer, make a planner, and always plan your day, your daily routine on those planners. You have to schedule a time for exercise, time for hobbies. Hobbies are very much important in our life because these are the hobbies which give us pleasure. So we are mentally fit and mentally feel good to do the things and do the extra work. And if we will be keep on doing our work only and not giving time to our hobbies, we will be starting to lose our touch on our work. So I would suggest that make a planner and follow it. And whenever something good happens, make it down, make a note on that planner. And every night when you go to sleep, revisit your day in your mind. And you will find out that there were beautiful moments in the one day. And when you will see and when you will revisit the whole month, you will be amazed that there were so many good moments. There were people who were helping you in becoming a better person, and you were helping the people to become better people in their life. And that is what people do. Now we are going through a very bad situation, that is pandemic. And what it has given to us? It has given us the beautiful thing, and that is time. Time to spend with our valuable family members. Time to realize what we have done, and time to realize what we could have done better. So make time on that planner to learn new things every day. A 5 second of that activity will leave you a wonderful time in a whole month. There are 86,400 seconds in a day. And if we will be spending our time watching TV and going through the social media, we will be losing our time, the most valuable asset that we have. So I would suggest that it is time, it is the best time to revisit what we have done. And when we will start to revisit, we will start to become better person. The time will not stand there, it will pass by. But the time passes with the friends and family in the moments of enjoyment will be the best time. Every moment has its age, it will pass by. But if you are a person who could feel beautiful colors in those moments, you will remember it. Or otherwise, time will not fade, it will fade you. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Farooq, for such a lovely prepared speech. Now let's move on to our Robin Hood round evaluation. I just wanted to say one thing is we don't have enough time for this, so I'll just cut down the time to 30 seconds, and everyone has 30 seconds to provide their evaluation on the prepared speech of Toastmaster Farooq. So now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Yunus to provide his evaluation on Toastmasters Farooq's speech.
Excuse
Toastmaster
me,
Yunus.
I interrupt. Actually, it's called round robin, so you can start.
Okay. Yeah. Toastmaster Yunus.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I think Toastmaster Faru prepared a very well structured speech because he gathered audience attention by asking the questions, and then he used his life story and some things to gather our attention on why it is important to manage our time wisely for our learning journey. So at the end of the speech, he even have the call to actions, ask us to use our time wisely. And he even give the example how we can achieve this, especially to revisit before we off to bed. Okay, back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Yunus, for your lovely evaluation. Now let's move on to the another Toastmaster, Toastmaster Santosh. Please evaluate. 30 seconds.
Hi, Toastmaster Farooq. That is a great message that has come up in this time of lockdown, wherein the entire world is locked down and we are looking forward to. However, I think one of the factors that you can get is that passion and that energy to be exuding from you. If you have a better preparedness, so that I mean, I'm not saying that you're not prepared, but if you have that command over your control, then you can simply throw it, because this is persuade with power. I want to say that the power is missing, but obviously it is a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Santosh. So let's move on. Toastmaster Bushra. Toastmaster Bushra, please provide your evaluation. 30 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Danish. Speech was good. It was well prepared. The objective was clear, and it was not very lengthy as well. We are clear that the objective of the speech, but I feel that there is, there is always a room of improvement in every speech. As it is a prepared speech, so I expected that there will be no grammatical mistakes, but there were grammatical mistakes were there, and otherwise I feel that it was okay, right?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bushra, for your evaluation. Now, Toastmaster Aga Faisal. Toastmaster Aga Faisal, please evaluate. 30 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Danish. Toastmaster Farooq, you have given a very good speech. Your opening was very strong, and you have used your hand purposefully, and your confidence. You are a very confident speaker. Your eye contact was good, and you have used very informative speech. To use some statistic to highlight the importance of the time. I have some recommendation for you. You can add a personal story to it will catch the attention of the audience. The second recommendation, I think you can use the voice modulation. In some places, your voice was very low, and I think, in my opinion, that your ending was not good. And that's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aga Faisal. Let's move on. Toastmaster Farhan, please evaluate. 30 seconds. Toastmaster Farhan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Danish. Toastmaster Farooq, great opening with a question. Normally, being virtual, you can forget to put energy in the beginning, but you're always good while opening your presentation. You did really well. To add to that, a wonderful story, and you narrated it very well. As always, I have noticed that the good hand gesture, facial expression, and it was really good to see you. Just one suggestion, and somehow you're missing that. Normally, I have seen you in a virtual meeting as well. You showed a complete stage of yours. Today it was missing. You were pretty much less than half was visible. So it was cutting your complete hand gesture and body movement and gestures. So that is the only thing you had to work on, especially being virtual. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Farhan Ayub. Toastmaster Mahmood Aslam, 30 seconds. Please evaluate. Toastmaster Mahmood Aslam, are you present? Okay, so let's move on. Toastmaster Mon Peng Chong, 30 seconds. Please evaluate.
Thank you, Farooq, for giving us such a persuasive speech. I felt that it's really attractive because you start the speech with questionings. Ask us what time is it? So from there, you're able to attract the audience on what other message you are going to tell us subsequently. Besides that, I also like your standing position. You put the effort, although this is online meeting, so that we can see your body movement and also your hand gesture, and I would say it's rather appropriate.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Let's move on with our evaluation.
Besides, many things could happen within nicely.
Yeah, I guess. Hello? Are you continuing, Toastmaster Mon?
Yeah, I'm continuing because I thought you asked me to.
Sure.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Besides that, I also like the suggestion to use a planner. To use a planner is a good tip. Having said that, I have a few suggestions that you may would like to consider. Probably you can elaborate more on a specific example how planner help you to improve the utilization.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mon Peng Chong. Toastmaster Mohsin, 30 seconds, please evaluate.
Yeah, hello. So, TM Farooq, you're a very confident speaker and you make good uses of pauses and vocal variety and hand gestures. You use a lot of hand gestures. Your body from torso to above was visible, which is a very good thing. The things that I think that you can work on is, one is that bringing enthusiasm in your speech, and second, trying to incorporate more humor, because humor really attracts the audience into your speech. Overall, so it was a very good speech, and that's it. Over to TM Danish.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohsin. Toastmaster Sumaya, 30 seconds, please evaluate.
Good evening, everybody. So Toastmaster, I believe that this was a very effective speech because you had a good structure. Your opening was rather interesting with a joke on the outset, and then you proceeded to elaborate
on why you tell time the way you usually do it. You had relatable examples and some bit of humor. What I really loved in your speech was the pace. It was very soothingly, it was very soothing and well paced. What I would recommend, however, in some instances to use a faster pace, and this would provide more energy to your speech. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumaya. Now, Toastmaster Urusa. Toastmaster Urusa, 30 seconds. Please evaluate.
Toastmaster Danish, whom am I supposed to evaluate?
The prepared speaker, Toastmaster Farooq.
Okay. Toastmaster Farooq, you used phrases and different perceptions of time to persuade people to your idea of time, which is using time effectively. Whether it was shortness of time, a humorous story asking people about time, or people asking you about time while snatching, your story was very well strung. The ending was motivational, like make a planner, or as they say, add life to days, not days to life. Again, I'm sorry, I could hear the bell, which probably disqualified you. However, what I want to know is there a synonym for the word time? Because you use the word time a lot. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Urusa. Now, Toastmaster me. 30 seconds, please evaluate.
Toastmaster Farooq, I like your speech very much. You also meet the objective for this speech, for the 4 objective. I noticed that you never using the note and you have the emotion when you speak. You also have a very good schedule. You also tell us that how the value of the time, and also explain that for each of the 3 seconds, what will happen, the child die, every 5 seconds, the people die for accident and so on. This gives a better understanding for us that the value of each of the time. And I like one of the good quote that you mentioned, that time will not fade, it will fade you. Very good structure for the overall speech. And also, you also mentioned to us that how to make a planner. You also let us know that the step, each of the point, like the first point, like the daily routine, and then how to make time for your hobby and so on. Very clear and precise explanation so that the audience can understand clearly.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Thank you very much. Now, distinguished Toastmaster Akil. 30 seconds, please evaluate.
Yes, thank you for your time. Let's give the chance to other guests. We have some more guests. I will skip my turn. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. We have Toastmaster Kashif Sehgal.
And
however, Toastmaster Kashif Sehgal, please. 30 seconds, please evaluate.
Sure, thank you. Thank you so much. Job well done, TM Farooq. It was an amazing speech. You had a great start. You added a personal story, and that is very important to connect with the audience. Your body language was excellent. 1 or 2 suggestions that I would like to give you, and some of the other evaluators have touched upon it as well. I think the vocal variety is a bit monotonous. I think you need to bring in little more energy into the speech and use your vocal variety in a better way. And that will make your speech more persuasive and emotional as well, because as soon as you add emotion to your speech, the audience get to connect more with you. So these are a couple of recommendations from my end and my observations. Thank you so much. Over to you, Danish.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kashif. So I guess everyone is done with the Robin Hood round evaluation except for Toastmaster Hammad. Okay, Toastmaster Hammad, please, 30 seconds, evaluate.
Thank you, Toastmaster Danish. Yes, Toastmaster Farooq speech was well prepared. His hand gestures were good. I think there's a bit he can improve with his vocal variety. His tone was quite low. I can't hear it properly. So I think if your vocal tone is a bit higher, pitch is high, so it would be much better, and there will be more. You can more grab attention from the audience. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Danish.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hammad. I guess now everyone is done with the Robin Hood round evaluation, I guess, except for distinguished Toastmaster Akil. Distinguished Toastmaster, would you like to comment? Would you like to provide your evaluation for 30 seconds?
Actually, all the points have been covered, so I have nothing to say. And
Okay.
I would like to, yes, hand over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm opening my presentation now. Just a minute. Okay. Is it visible now? Okay, so we have completed our Robin Hood round evaluation and the third activity for this workshop. So let's move on with this. Now, this is a fourth and final activity, and this activity is basically the evaluator's evaluation. So each and every one in the Robin Hood round evaluation who evaluated this prepared speaker, Toastmaster Farooq, is being evaluated by another evaluator who is Toastmaster Rafe. So Toastmaster Rafe will be evaluating all the evaluators in journal. Toastmaster Rafe, 1 minute to you, please.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Danish. Well, I felt that we had a lot of evaluators and I was listening very carefully, not just for the evaluations, but actually I was listening whether the evaluators implemented the learnings from this workshop that we just had. And I noticed that a lot of them did not follow some of the learnings that we had from this workshop. For instance, the use of words. So we learned over here that we should not make a judgment call, meaning that we should not use the word should. You should do this, or your opening was bad, or your opening was good, or your opening was weak, or your closing was bad. That's a judgment call. You are judging the opening was bad. Maybe some other listener might have found that the opening was good, or maybe some other listener might have found that the use of humor was good. We don't know. So you have to share your opinion. So the words that you could try is, I found that the opening was great or not so great, or I found that the closing was abrupt. Similarly, I felt that, or in my opinion, or I suggest you try, or I liked, or I didn't like, something like that. And you might want to try, or you could try. So those are some of the ways to deliver constructive feedback without making it look like a judgment call on the speaker. At the end of the day, you are sharing your feedback and your suggestions. So you're nobody to judge somebody whether they were good or bad, or how good or bad they were. Another thing I noticed, where I would love to again get your attention back to the workshop, and over here we learned that you not only have to give suggestions, but also give the speaker a way how to incorporate that feedback. So for instance, a lot of evaluators pointed out that the vocal variety could be improved, or it wasn't up to the mark. So then you can follow up with that comment or that suggestion with some examples. Farooq, over here, you could have used a higher pitch, or over here, you could have changed a tone, or I felt it could have been done this way, or this line could have been said this way. And that would give Toastmaster Farooq or the speaker specific suggestions, which they can immediately implement, and it's going to make their speech immediately better by just implementing those specific suggestions. So overall, in conclusion, I think that we need to then go over this material again and try to implement the knowledge that we gained over here from this workshop in our actual evaluations when we go to our respective clubs, when we go to our respective meetings, to try and use this knowledge to the benefit of ourselves, our speakers, and our clubs. Over to Toastmaster Danish.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rafe, for such a lovely journal evaluation on all the Robin Hood round evaluations. Well, let's move on with our presentation. Now, how to change your evaluation behavior. So we all know that we did evaluations, a lot of evaluations in Robin Hood round evaluation, providing our comments, our viewpoints about different techniques of evaluation. So let's discuss about how to change evaluation behavior. First of all, you need to decide what you want to change. So whether you want to reinforce a positive statement, whether you want to change your language, whether you want to have a more personalized language. So you need to decide something that is changeable. Recognize the benefits of change, what benefits that it makes to the speaker, whether it develops a positive self-esteem within speaker while you're changing your personalized language, or you're incorporating honest feedback to them so that they can have that feedback and they can change their behavior in their speeches. This is up to you. Put the change into action. So you need to constantly work on that change so that it can actually uh, bring fruits to you in the future. Make it a habit. Change should be a habit. Never stop improving. You should never stop improving. Self-explanatory. Okay, so now this workshop is being concluded, and in the end, there is a famous quotation by a famous person, and this famous person is 2001 world champion of public speaking. We all know him very well. He is none other than Darren Lacroix, and he says that there is always someone out there half as talented as you are, willing to work twice as hard as you are. So we need to understand this particular platform, which is Toastmaster, which is one of the best platforms provided by our founder, who is Rolf C. Smedley. So for this platform, what is the vision for this particular person? This particular person's vision was to enhance the learning capabilities of each and everyone who has joined this particular platform, and to have different learning interventions. And specifically, if you follow this quotation of Darren Lacroix, you will understand that there are so many people out there in this world who are not as much talented as you are, but they are willing to work quite as hard as you are. So you need to up your game. Thank you very much. Now I would like to hand over the control to the presiding officer of this workshop, of this meeting, who is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Akil. Please help me welcome DTM Akil.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Would you believe that 2 hours just passed? It just passed just like this. It means that Toastmaster Danish